You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Kyle Gagliardi, a.k.a. Mr. Wednesday Night, and always I am joined by my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Ducky.
What's going on, Kyle?
I would say it's a beautiful day out, but it's not.
It's
a little rainy.
In your opinion, it is, though. You're a big gloom guy.
I used to not be, but we've gotten a lot of sun. We've been in a lot of sun with all the wiffle ball that we've been playing.
Yeah.
I think I've had enough.
It's a nice change-up.
It is.
Sun's not killing us today. Humidity's a little bit down. The breeze is cool, and it's not just mixing warm air.
Did you see the upcoming weather for next week? Here in Northwest Indiana, we're getting low 70s next week.
Ooh.
And I'm all in.
You know that's a lie.
Yeah, it'll change.
Yeah.
That
would be nice, though.
It would be. I'll tell you what, I got an email this morning when I woke up. My NIPSCO bill wasn't
not
happy.
Great.
Wasn't happy with it. About $150.
Ooh, what is it normally?
About $80.
Ooh.
And what's weird is I kept it at a higher temperature.
Yeah.
I wonder if my place just got warmer quicker because it was at a higher set and it kept clicking on and more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and your place being the top floor,
That too.
could be the hardest
Heat rises.
condo to keep cold. Yeah.
So that's a pain in the butt. But hey, what have you been up to? I know what you've been up to mainly, but what's been going on else?
Middle school practices are underway. We just wrapped up the high school summer camp, so we did that for a few weeks, and now we're in the dead period with the high school. Middle school ramps up. Games at the end of August.
How's that all that been with the whole social distancing and mask wearing mandate that's been in?
Yeah, it's been okay. We split the middle school group up for the first 3 weeks and to get the numbers cut in half, and they've got to wear masks to and from practice.
That's annoying.
At practice, they're not in the dugout or in a confined space. We have them space their bags along the foul line, so
right.
no masks there. And the kids have been positive attitudes with it. They
And there's been baseball games going on. Like you've stopped by the Babe Ruth Field and from time to time, haven't you?
There's games all over the place.
Are they doing anything differently, or is it kind of just look like
now they are.
Yeah.
Originally it wasn't that big of a deal, but now they've blocked off a lot of bleacher sections. Parents bring your own chairs, sit down the line, space out. Added some space to behind or next to dugouts and kind of roped and fenced those off so kids have more room.
Yeah.
Which I think we might be having to do. The mask mandate's up to 26, so we'll see if he renews it or sees.
Okay.
We'll have to see how it goes. But we will be masked up part of our August 7th, Friday of next week. So
next week, if you haven't heard, we are going to the event's technically Warrior Wrestling, correct?
Correct. Warrior Wrestling Friday Night Lights event in Illinois, Marianne Catholic High School. We all have field seats. So
30-minute drive from the condo, so it's not bad at all.
Not bad for that card. There's a lot of great names on that card.
Just added the bad boy, Joey Janela, who you're a big fan of.
Maybe I'll buy a T-shirt.
You already asked Warrior Wrestling. You just slid in the DMs, right?
I did. I asked him if merch would be available, and it's only right now for those who pay extra to go to the Fan Fest. So I will not be paying extra to go spend money on people's stuff.
Yeah.
Now you can get pictures and meet them.
You can't shake hands though and everything, right? Yeah,
no,
so
you can get a picture from across the table, much like we did at Kevin Owens' event in Walmart.
True,
but that was free.
That also was free. That was
and
nice.
he signed anything we wanted to. He might have signed my wiener if I pulled it out.
Okay, well, good thing you didn't.
Let's sign your.
Might have been a lawsuit. Might have been a little sketchy.
Yeah, I am a teacher, so that would have been.
Yeah, that also would be a problem there.
Sign this.
Hey, but believe it or not, today, July 30th, this is technically the birthday of OTM. I made an announcement on Twitter. I believe I texted you the same day that I made this announcement. 365 days ago, I was wondering, hey, Tuck, you wanna start a wrestling podcast? Here we are a year later, and we're now on episode 32.
Yeah, episode 32, and we've probably plugged content 42 of the 52 weeks. When you think of our
YouTube
prediction shows, the reviews we did on YouTube, live shows and things like that. So
I used to do blogs, but that's kind of been dead lately.
Yeah,
in general, just the whole Overtime Sports Network. Still waiting for some people to blog here.
Baseball's back.
It is.
So, J-Rat maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Talking about the White Sox and their hot start? Or
speaking of, not too hot of a start, that's for sure.
That's true.
You want to tell the listeners a little bit about the Overtime Sports Network, which we, of course, are a part of?
We are a part of the Overtime Sports Network. Visit otsportsnetwork.com to not only see some blogs, but also all the podcasts that we offer are part of our network. And then if you head over to Twitter, go to @_OTSN on Twitter, and you can, that's kind of the hub where you're seeing all the updates, what the new podcasts that are out, and any new blogs that will be posted. Sports are coming back. Is the NBA back today?
NBA is back tonight.
NBA is back
placed
tonight.
a bet.
Okay.
Got the Lakers plus a lot of points.
They're spreading the love there. Yeah, spread the love. And then the MLB's back for how long? Who knows?
It's not looking great.
Marlins are dead already. So
Phillies are dead.
Yeah.
I don't know if you just saw that.
Yeah, everyone's getting clapped right now. The Red Sox are dead, not from a COVID standpoint. They just can't. They love to give up runs, which is a bold strategy in baseball. But
yeah, and that was talking baseball here on the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Yes,
but hey, make sure you also follow OTSN on Instagram @_OTSN. It's the same thing as Twitter, so it's very easy to find. But it's crazy now. We're approaching August. COVID's still around. Still got no fans in wrestling. And I know you proposed this question to me before we started recording, so I'm going to flip it back at you here, Tuck. Do you think we will have an event in the WWE or AEW, since those are the two companies we cover, with fans in it in 2020?
Yes.
You do?
I do. I'm not confident that they're gonna throw a banger at the Superdome.
No way.
I think I don't know that I would be going to a show like that. I think the ticket prices are going to get on the secondary market and get blown up. True. You think of Wrigley Field right now. You can get a rooftop seat at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
$350 a pop.
Yeah, outside the stadium.
Yeah. And, because they're at 25 or 30% capacity. So what are ticket prices going to look like? What venues? We know that WWE is kind of entertaining that idea with some shows. But I do think as we turn, conspiracy theory or not, the election does come up. A lot of people believe that, there might be something to do with that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just think 4 more months. Let's see, we've been in it for what? We've been in it about 4 months, right?
Yeah, it's been about 4
March,
months, yeah.
April, May, June, July. That's 4.
Jeez.
We're going into our 5th month of it. And I think they've got it. We know what to do.
True.
It's not as uncertain as it was back then. I don't know if they're going to make you require masks, and things like that. I mean, you'd have to unless you're distanced, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm going to lean. If I had to bet, I would bet and lean toward yes, because WWE likes its money.
Yeah, I'm going to be optimistic with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes. Do I feel good about that? No. Because I thought we would be in a better spot right now with everything.
I thought there would be a lot more answers.
We talked about there being fans by SummerSlam. I remember a WrestleMania preview show we did. We're like, predict when we're going to have our next show. We thought All Out we could be going to, but doesn't look so.
No, and we'll see. Really excited to see what the Warrior Wrestling show looks like. We do know that we will be spaced out 15 feet away from the next nearest group.
I was going to say, we can be together with our group that we came with.
We all purchased tickets individually, but we're going together in the same vehicle. We've spent time together, so they will let us sit in kind of our pod.
Why can't the bigger companies maybe do something like that? I know maybe high school stadiums wouldn't be the way to go, but why not go to like a collegiate field outdoors and have people camp out in their little pods?
There's options, and Game Changer Wrestling did one in Indy at a state park, and it was kind of a cool setup.
You could do that over here in Lake County.
Yeah, and
the fairgrounds.
There's ways to do it if you have space, if you have grandstands and things like that. A bowl obviously would be best, to kind of, from a
that
viewing
stadium
perspective.
feel too.
Yeah, the Bricky Bowl in Hobart. That's sunk in the ground, and you have the bowl all the way around. But I think, when we look at the Warrior Wrestling show, what's AEW going to do with all of those guys? We know that next week is already pre-taped, so they're freed up. They usually go live.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're pre-taping this week, tomorrow, or today, sorry.
This was live this week, yesterday's episode.
Yes, next week should be pre-taped.
Okay, I did not know that.
That will free them up for the following week.
Because we have Lance Archer, Joey Janela, who else am I missing? Brian Cage, yeah, that's going to be cool.
Brian Pillman was in the audience, wasn't he?
That's true, yeah, Pillman was there.
He'll be there. I think he's there.
Jeff Cobb will be there, too. I know he's not a part of AEW.
Kylie Ray from Impact will be there. The Rascals from Impact.
I'm excited to see Kylie Ray. I've heard good things about her, but never seen her work.
Yeah, and Warhorse.
That's true.
Who made his AEW debut.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if he'll stick.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's got some following, and I thought it was a good match. So
we'll get to that, Doug. Yeah. Don't worry. But, hey, we're on the road to SummerSlam in the WWE. We're going to talk about a little bit of the WWE main roster stuff because Tucky didn't watch NXT. I did, but I just think we're kind of at a point where we know where we're at in NXT, and we don't need to really talk about it quite yet.
There we are.
And I get the NXT champion, and that's all that really matters. So
we from the NXT standpoint, the Pat McAfee Adam Cole angle, we have not touched on that in the podcast.
I like it.
For anybody that's lived under a rock, Adam Cole made a guest appearance in studio with the Pat McAfee show in Indianapolis, and Adam Cole mentioned that Pat McAfee was a punter and how significant is his success. And when Pat McAfee mentioned Adam Cole's size, Cole was not thrilled about it. Knocked down a mic, pushed Ty Schmidt, a producer for the show, like decent shove.
What was your initial reaction? Did you think work right away? Like, this is a work?
No,
you didn't. You thought it was real.
No, because as soon as I backed out of the clip on Twitter, other people from Pat McAfee were like, there were F-bombs. Adam Cole cussed. Pat McAfee cussed. Yeah. That's not the WWE Disney-like, portrayal they try to give sometimes. The producers were active and really saying, screw Adam Cole. But in the grand scheme of things, those are the best kind of works, right?
Yeah.
When you really don't know, we're towing the line of reality, and that's when people really get invested. It sounds like, based on a tweet you showed me yesterday, that it probably is, right?
They brought it up on NXT. They showed the clip. They showed the tweet from Adam Cole, and they just talked about there will be a time and a place where they address that situation. So I don't know if McAfee is going to be making an in-ring debut in NXT. I mean,
he owns a wrestling ring.
He's athletic.
Yeah,
he's a pro athlete.
He's in, from his words, he's in the greatest shape of his life. He's got a wedding coming up in a couple days.
Saturday, I believe. Yeah.
So he's getting married on Saturday.
So Pat, if you're listening, congrats.
Congrats, Pat.
For the brand,
of course. Yes. So he's got the wedding coming up. Is that the only reason? We know he was going into the year kicking a lot of footballs, trying to see if he could make a comeback. The knee wasn't where it was at.
Yeah.
He does own a ring in his barn of bad decisions. So
maybe
it would not be crazy.
You know what I've noticed, too, and you're going to notice when you watch NXT, they're getting a little edgier. Keith Lee dropped a couple curse words that they actively bleeped out on the episode in his promo for Karrion Kross. So I think the NXT brand specifically is knowing that on Wednesday nights, it's technically a ratings war. I don't think they care too much, but if they want to, keep stealing a few, viewers here and there, that maybe pushing the limit, kind of like AEW is the way to go about doing so.
Yeah, I mean, with Raw and SmackDown, you're kind of getting the vanilla type stuff. So
yeah, you can't really toy the line there.
I don't know that we need old school ECW hardcore type stuff like that, but how many kids are watching NXT?
Not many. If you look at the demos, it's usually older people.
Mm-hmm. So when you have that information, why not leverage it and try to get
smart?
And again, the Attitude Era was quite the most productive lucrative era that they had. So
yeah, that's very true. So yeah, on the road to SummerSlam, and the rumors like you were talking about is that this could take place somewhere other than the Performance Center, which I do like. I've heard a cruise ship, a beach, or an outdoor venue on the Northeast. They're specifically looking in that area with limited seating possibly. So Which one of those options, if they were real options, would you like to see? Do you think just the limited seating somewhere in an open field?
The limited seating doesn't really do it for me. If they're going to send it, I'd really like them to send it. SummerSlam on the beach would be cool.
Just a change of scenery.
Yeah, just something a little different. A bigger, the bigger you go, you would hope that more people are filling up those spaces. So I don't know if they go to a 100th, if they go to the Cowboys Stadium and there's only 10,000 people
you can't
there,
do that.
You get no feel, right? So the beach would be really cool. A cruise ship would be cool. The counter argument is that AEW's done
Jericho did that first. He had 2 Jericho cruises.
Right, sure,
but that's wrestling. You borrow stuff from other companies.
Yeah, nothing. We're not we're reinventing everything here. We're not coming really, but I like the idea of the beach is kind of where I would send it. I think that'd be cool.
See, when I saw Dana White put out Fight Island for the UFC and they showed that octagon on the beach, I always thought they were going to actually fight on the beach.
I know, right?
They're not.
Nope.
Now's the time. WWE. I mean, go somewhere where it's not super hot because when you're on the beach, it's the sand radiates off heat. So, but I like the idea of doing the beach. I think it's cool. It's SummerSlam, the party of the summer.
Right.
Just get out of the Performance Center. Get out of Full Sail because that is just becoming stale.
Yeah, I agree. Just the
banging on the glass. I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah.
Bad.
Just when you play the video games, it's always fun when you're playing MLB to change different parks and different venues, and WWE picking different setups and things like that. So I don't think it would hurt.
We'll find out, though. We got 3 weeks, so it's not like they're going to have to decide very fast.
They could ask Bray Wyatt if he wants to do it in the swamp.
I think the swamp got all of its use at the horror show at Extreme Rules.
Probably tapped out,
Yeah, so we're tapped out on that. But, hey, let's go over to SmackDown. We haven't talked about the main roster in a while. Last week specifically, I was very intrigued with what we saw backstage between Kofi Kingston and Big E. Kofi confronted Big E backstage with some news that he was going to miss some time. Kofi's a little banged up, so he's on the shelf. Xavier Woods is still out with an injury. So now he tells Big E straight up, this is your time to shine. Your moment is now. Are we on the verge of possibly seeing a Big E singles push?
I hope so. I think I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see it. NXT, first African-American NXT champion.
Yeah.
Will he be the first African-American Universal champion?
I don't think so.
No.
Is that the direction you kind of think he would be going? You think they're going to try to propel him into that main event with, maybe The Fiend? Or I don't know if he's ready for The Fiend yet. If you're starting your singles push on the main roster.
Well, no, he obviously can't start there, but neither did Kofi. How long is Kofi out? How long is that going to be? Is Xavier going to pop up? When is that going to be? But we do know Big E can perform. We know his go rate is high, so
entertainment's there too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
The direction I think you could go maybe with Big E is AJ Styles. The Intercontinental Championship. It's not for any slumps out there. You had to be somewhat good to earn that title.
And if you're going to beat AJ, you got to be
Yeah, you got to be somewhat good. And I think the Big E singles thing is well overdue. A lot of people have always talked about it. You don't need to break up the New Day. I think this is the perfect way to go your separate ways for a little bit just because there's injuries.
Yeah.
Use that to your advantage. And it worked with Kofi. He had a world title run, and it was really good. I don't know if Big E is world championship material, especially with what we got going on with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. But if you do that build, that long build like you did with Kofi, it's possible.
And what kind of pop will Xavier or Kofi get back if they come back and help him win something too?
True.
There's that angle as well. It just depends on how long they're going to be away.
A lot of different directions you can go with Big E, and I think SmackDown in general. I don't know if have you been keeping up with it? I think the last few weeks, specifically the last 2, have been a little better.
Yeah,
I think they're starting to figure it out.
Yeah, I like sitting down to SmackDown knowing it's 2 hours.
Yes.
We're going to be in and out. I also like that. Regardless of your thought on the horror show, the horror show was what is the word? Shorter than Raw.
Yeah,
2:35.
Yes,
without the pre-show.
Correct.
Yeah,
and the pre-show, Kevin Owens beat Murphy. Cool.
That's really cool.
When are we gonna push Kevin Owens? What are we doing with Kevin Owens?
Nah.
What are we doing with Finn Balor?
Nah.
What are we doing with these big names?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nah.
Not great.
Nah. What about? No, that's kind of those are two that are getting slept on. Who else?
Aleister Black.
Well, he's dead now. Yeah.
We'll get to Aleister when we talk about Raw, but yeah, it was interesting to see that backstage segment with Big E and Kofi. So hopefully, they're gonna at least give it a chance. That's all you can really do for Big E right there. So the multiple month feud though between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus, I think finally came to an end last Friday. Jeff Hardy was able to defeat Sheamus in another cinematic-type match in the bar fight. What were your thoughts on that? The production level, how it played out?
I was actually pretty happy with it, especially getting that kind of quality on. They're giving that on TV, on a TV match. So
Main event?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I was not as invested in the Brother Nero stuff because I wasn't too familiar with that from when I came back to wrestling.
True.
I still thought it was entertaining, and I thought the right guy won. I wish that was on our pre-show or Extreme Rules card, so we could have got the points for that. Congrats to Ryan Vogus.
Yeah. He got a picture with the belt last night.
Yes.
Ryan Vogus, the new OTM World Pay-Per-View Champion.
Yeah, wow, what a guy. And the one, we talked about it when he turned his picks in. Originally, he had all the picks that you had, which would have made you guys tied champions, and he flipped to Cesaro and Nakamura, and I said, that makes sense.
And what happened?
Yeah.
Cesaro and Nakamura are the new champs.
Yep. And the tough part was that didn't click for me until that SmackDown show when they started with all the promos from everybody.
Yeah.
Cesaro and Nakamura didn't sound like idiots, and I didn't hate hearing them, so.
And maybe before that match, they knew about Kofi's injury. If we would have known maybe that there was a pre-existing injury there, good for them, though. They kept it hush because I didn't hear anything about it. Otherwise, I probably would have picked Nakamura and Cesaro. But yeah, I was all right with the bar fight. It wasn't my favorite cinematic match, but it wasn't my least favorite. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Roderick Strong versus the Velveteen Dream. Not Roderick Strong, Adam Cole versus the Velveteen Dream. But
that's still your shit, son.
I hated that.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
The car
lighting wasn't. Yeah.
Also, where's Velveteen Dream? Are we trying to figure out that situation still?
Nope.
Don't know what's going on with that either, but nonetheless, it was a solid main event. Jeff Hardy, I think, can finally move on from this. Don't know what his contract situation is. I also don't know where you go with Jeff Hardy next.
Yeah.
We've got past Sheamus.
Big E?
Yeah, and Matt Riddle's still in that and Matt Riddle's in a thing with Corbin, so they're kind of locked up, and it's like, where do you go now?
Has there been any kind of clarification on Matt Riddle's situation, on Velveteen Dream's situation, legally, those types of things? They were hot for a while.
I think the Riddle thing was squashed. I think that's fake news.
Okay.
Velveteen I haven't heard about.
Because you don't debut a guy and have him beat AJ Styles without, Velveteen's been gone, though. That's where my question is. Is that it? Yeah.
Do you think that's just their way of being safe with it? Like they're trying to figure out the whole situation? And
I don't think it hurts because, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So he should come back to a warm welcome if everything, if the truth comes out in his favor.
Well, we also got to remember, too, on June 26th, Velveteen Dream was in a car accident.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he still could be a little banged up from that.
Yep.
Maybe that's the whole entire thing that's going on here. I'm just trying to search on Twitter the name Velveteen Dream, but nothing really newsworthy is coming up other than the fact that he was in that car accident about a month ago. So,
oh, yeah, that's true.
Still could be recovering from that. They still could be figuring out the legal issues. Don't really know. But is there anything else from SmackDown these past couple weeks that you'd like to talk about, or is that about it for that?
I think I'm good.
Okay, so Monday Night Raw. I thought this week was a good show. I thought we were getting in a good direction, with SummerSlam coming up. And it started with Randy Orton, He was setting his eyes on the WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. He cut a promo at the beginning of the show, shifting his attention now that he finally got past Edge. He got past the Big Show last week by beating him in that unsanctioned match. And not really a surprise to me, and probably not to you or anybody listening, he says, Drew McIntyre, you're next for the Viper.
Yeah. Now Randy Orton is must-see TV. And for the beginning part of my wrestling love, when I was coming back to it, he was in just the middle ground.
Coasting.
But now Randy Orton comes on the TV, and I want to hear what he has to say. Your way too early SummerSlam prediction is that who will win that match?
You're asking for it right now?
Right now.
Drew.
Okay.
I think it would be too soon for Randy to just, first match, I got it. I think if, it depends on how they're going to build these next 3 weeks, and then my idea might change, but I would assume that Randy either gets DQ'd in that SummerSlam match or, Drew sneaks a win. Yeah. That would be my early prediction.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Drew as well.
But it's almost at the point where Randy's so hot and so good that you could say he's probably the best talent on television right now, that you have to give him the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not?
That could be, and that'll be nice. The pay-per-view predictions coming down to one of those big title matches. It could be.
There's going to be a lot of tough ones. I mean, we're starting to see a little bit of the card come together here, but still a lot of question marks. We're 3 weeks away, but Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre will be happening at SummerSlam. And at the end of Monday Night Raw, after Drew won his match against Dolph Ziggler, which ended that feud, Randy hit an RKO. So we know 100% that this feud is 100% on.
We own.
We're 100% in on this right here.
Yes.
So Randy Orton versus Drew, that should be very fun. We also found out that Angel Garza and Andrade won a number one contendership match during the title opportunity at SummerSlam. They'll be facing the Street Profits. The Raw Tag Team division, I think it's been pretty strong lately. I don't know about you.
It's on the way up. Yeah. You have a number of formidable teams that you can identify with. There's a lot of mixing and matching in pairs and matchups that you could put together and get a lot of entertaining matches out of.
Thoughts on the Viking Prophet T-shirt?
I won't purchase. I will not be purchasing.
I don't know if you've ever seen this T-shirt. The worst purchase I ever had, and I don't know if anybody listening has ever seen this, but when Jericho came back to WWE around 2012, he had like a wannabe T-shirt, and it was an actual B on the T-shirt, and it spelled out wannabe. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I thought it was cool when I bought it.
Okay, so, wow.
I'm gonna pull that up right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it too.
I'm very interested to see on what my thought process. That's not the worst thing I've ever seen, because Aaron Oros, former listener of the show here, I got the T-shirt right here. Bad podcasting, but I'm showing you.
Not great.
It's literally just a dead bee.
Yeah, I don't get it.
If you don't know what we're looking at, just Google it. But yeah, that was probably...
And it's still, you can still buy it. Rockabilia.com, only $20. If you want a new one, maybe yours is faded.
There's other things I'd like to do with my $20, like eat some good barbecue.
Okay.
Or have a couple of drinks.
Or not.
Go to a Warrior Wrestling show.
Buy a Strowman Express T-shirt.
Don't do that either.
Okay.
Which one would you rather have, a Strowman Express or a wannabe Jericho T-shirt?
Probably the wannabe. I hate the Strowman Express.
Those are two of the worst T-shirts I've ever seen.
Choo-choo, motherfucker.
This is the worst T-shirt I've ever seen.
I do like the SCU, this is the worst year I've ever lived in shirt. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, the SCUs, we haven't seen much of them.
No.
But I'm a big fan of SCU. But yeah, going back to Garza and Andrade, they're going to be having that match with the Street Profits at SummerSlam. I'm not really sure who I'm going to take in that match, and I'm not going to ask you who you would take this early, but it's just weird. I don't know, because it felt like Andrade and Garza were going to split for a second, and now we're all good. We're back.
You're hot and you're cold.
You're yes and you're no.
You're no.
Yeah.
You're in and you're out. You're up and you're... Thank you, Katie. Yeah.
Is that a karaoke song of yours?
No.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Living on a Prayer is a good one.
That seems like a you.
Yeah. I do a lot of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC as well. That gets the ladies going.
Backstreet's back. All right. There it is. I was an NSYNC guy, though.
Well.
You weren't.
Our best friendship is on the rocks right now.
Now, not the best friends.
Private Party's new theme song, not great.
Yeah, we trust me. We've gone over that, and we still hate it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Garza and Andrade needed their own theme song, though.
Yeah,
speaking of theme songs.
Stick. Well, Zelina Vega's got her faction. They still don't have a name. MVP was around for like 2 weeks, and he's like, "What's up, Hurt Business?"
I kind of like that.
Oh, that's decent. Yeah.
That's badass, and they got something going there. They got the 24/7 champion Shelton Benjamin. You got MVP, who's the quote unquote new U.S. champion. You got Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
And R-Truth's always in a segment, making me laugh, doing something.
He's slept on, I think. I like him.
He should be a Hall of Famer. I don't even think that's a hot take. I think his entertainment value. There's been some bad Hall of Famers.
Yep.
You can't do wrong with R-Truth.
No, just the mileage they've got out of him. He has an R-Truth like trivia game show on the network. And
have you watched it?
I have watched one episode.
Is it good?
It was with Alexa Bliss and Sheamus, and it was kind of funny.
I mean, everything he does. I think when Mustafa Ali showed up, he called him Mufasa.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the guy's just great. I mean, I even follow him on TikTok, and he's great on there, too. So, yeah. Shout out to R-Truth. I know you're listening out there. But other stuff that's happening on Monday Night Raw, like I just mentioned, Mustafa Ali is now on Monday Night Raw. So, I guess the hacker gimmick just died?
Yeah. It had to have been him because the hacker's gone from SmackDown. That's not a thing anymore, so...
I kind of would have liked to seen how that played out. We put a lot of effort into it.
Well, they were chopping and screwing footage all the time. Put just the subliminal stuff. They were working at it, and then it's nowhere to be found. So
maybe that was another Vince thing. He was like, I just don't like it, pal.
Yeah.
Just scrap it. Fuck it. Just like if Aleister Black, don't like him anymore.
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler, don't like her.
Out.
Anybody you guys like, don't like.
Gone.
Sorry. He must like Dominic Mysterio though, because Dom's in a little bit of a program here.
He's getting some play.
You know, he confronted Seth Rollins on Raw, and I know I tweeted this out, but you might have missed it, and anybody listening might have missed it. I feel like Dominic Mysterio is a natural out there and on television. You know, he had a strong match with Brock Lesnar when we were at Survivor Series with Ray, and, you know, he's been a key part of this feud with Seth Rollins, and, you know, I think the kid can go.
Well, you can tell he's had training and he's working at it, because when you bring in somebody like the Tyson Fury, right, his punches weren't even good.
No.
And he's a boxer, you know.
I forgot about Tyson Fury until you just brought him up.
Yeah, Cain Velasquez, same thing. Like hitting
Remember
with like
Cain
the
Velasquez?
side of the fist or whatever. And Dominic gets in there. He's kind of fearless. He's all over the place. A timing standpoint, he seems to be pretty good. He's got a good feel for it. So a word like natural is pretty good, yeah.
And I also like how they're not putting a mic with him right away.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, you know, show this edgier side and his in-ring work, you know. And let's not pressure him in cutting a promo with Seth Rollins, because you know he would get eaten up on the mic. That's
not a perfect situation, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe there's going to be a match at SummerSlam, but the only thing I don't like about the whole Mysterio Rollins thing is that Murphy and Black are kind of just taking a back seat, having their own little thing, and then sometimes Humberto Carrillo shows up. And
where's Austin Theory been?
He maybe had COVID, or was it just a situation where they needed him for WrestleMania?
Was it?
And now they're like, he's not ready yet. You know, he's young. We can just, you know, take him off TV for a bit, and then you can pop back in. Hey, Austin Theory.
He's back.
All day.
Yeah.
Isn't that his thing?
I don't know.
All day? I don't know. Yeah, but Aleister Black is kind of just there. Buddy Murphy, kind of just there. But Dominic Mysterio might have a match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I'm in.
If you would have told me that last year, I probably would have said you're crazy.
Well, I didn't. So I am not. I am sane. I'm not Kyrie sane.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of people got pissed off that she tweeted 3 minutes after that segment. They just made a big deal. They're like, "Oh, kayfabe's dead." You could have sold it for a little bit. Oh, it was Bully Ray and all these big names. And I said, it's just like old people getting mad. It's like, it's 2020.
Right.
We know.
Wasn't it pre-taped or was it live?
It was pre-taped too. And also there was rumors that Kyrie was back in her home country.
So
I don't get it. People were mad. It was usually the older, you know, wrestling fans.
You're calling them dumb if you're trying to make them believe that it was happening right at that moment.
Yeah, that's also.
Everyone knows it's pre-taped.
Yeah.
She's had days or a week or 2 weeks to recover from it,
might have been a couple weeks, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I don't agree with, you know, like these people that are saying, oh, Kyrie shouldn't have tweeted that out. She's done with WWE, so.
Yeah. Well, and they left it in a spot where she can come back. Her last match was a win.
That's true.
So, you know, they didn't
Who'd she
book her
beat
to
again?
hell. I don't know.
Was it Bayley?
I thought it was someone. It wasn't a joke match. Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah, it might have been Bayley. I don't know. We could be wrong. If you remember, let us know on Twitter at Pot on the Mark. Make sure you're following us. You want to get a plug in for you?
Nope.
No, don't follow Tuck at
Jim Tuck 89.
Don't follow him.
That's not my Twitter. If you look it up and hit follow, you're not going to be following me.
We're telling you not to follow Jim Tuck 89, and we're telling you not to follow Too Sweet Kyle.
Too
Sweet! Been a couple weeks since we did that. But you know what was too sweet?
What?
New Raw Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. The boss!
And now
legit.
She's actually a champion, yes. It was not stolen or whatever.
I was in on this match. It was really good, Tuck.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
And I was thinking, I was worried before, losing Charlotte, losing Becky, that, they would struggle. But I think now they are proving that the WWE Women's Division, they have enough talent. And obviously a big help to that is Sasha and Bayley because they're holding all the gold now. But just a spectacular match. And I like the way that they booked the finish. I don't know about you.
I do. It's one of those, it's kind of like a non-finish, right? So something happens, but it was a legitimate title change. There were rules in place. It was put, The
stipulation was no interference.
Yes.
And that if there were to be a count out, that the title would change hands.
It can change hands, yeah. And making, you're not trying to fool your audience when you're upfront about it. I honestly didn't even think that would be a thing, that Asuka would run out and be counted out on her own to go help Kairi Sane. That didn't factor. So it wasn't the finish didn't punch me in the face as soon as the stipulation was announced either, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense. A lot of people, once again, were mad at how this was booked to finish, but I think it's good for a babyface Asuka that she cares more about her friend that's being attacked than the title. Friendship means more than championships to Asuka, so you're going to get more heat on Sasha Banks, more heat on Bayley, and more people are going to root for Asuka because, she's like, it'd be like me. I'd be going to, save you from an attack instead of, winning a wiffle ball championship.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that, but.
No, we're on the same team, so I don't know where I'm being attacked.
Somebody's attacking you in the outfield, and, I just got to do my own thing on the pitcher's mound. I'd keep shoving.
I would want you to.
It's good to
That's
hear.
BS, baby.
That is right there. So, yeah, we have a new champion in Sasha Banks. So, and I'm not going to say it enough, but Bayley and Sasha have been nothing short of spectacular recently, and now they hold all the gold.
Yeah, interesting spot with them holding all the titles, but in lieu of Charlotte and Becky being gone, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross have stepped up. Naomi has gotten some screen time too.
With
so
Lacey Evans, I think
we've been able to get into the depth a little bit more because Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch are not really requiring the screen time that we know that people would like them to have. So definitely one of the strongest parts of WWE in comparison to AEW is the women's division.
100%.
Chris Statlander and Britt Baker being out stinks.
But they got Ariane, who used to be a Funkadactyl in the WWE with Naomi now.
Okay, so there's, yeah.
She was terrible.
That's two. They have that.
Did you ever see the clip from Tough Enough where Stone Cold asked her a question of what's her favorite match? I'm talking about Ariane. She goes, Melina and Alicia Fox. He goes, what did you just say? Melina and Alicia Fox? And he goes, and he just shakes his head, and then, yeah, it was just one of the worst responses. He goes, sorry, I don't watch a lot of wrestling.
Oh.
That's probably not the thing you want.
Not ideal, no, yeah.
You're picking Melina and Alicia Fox as your favorite match.
It was a banger.
I don't think anybody's ever said that. But where do we go from here? All the belts, the tag team championships, the Raw, the SmackDown Women's Championship. What's next?
Tag titles got to come first.
Come off, you're saying.
Yeah, those things come off first. That's where the dissension comes.
True.
Do you do a winner-take-all type thing? I don't know. I have trouble seeing how a feud between the two biggest women can come up with only one of them losing a strap, unless it was at the expense of the other.
True.
So, Bayley loses a title at the expense of Sasha Banks, which I don't think that would be the play.
No, it'd be vice versa,
boss,
I think,
right?
yeah.
Sasha loses a title. Bayley did something to make her lose that title.
Correct.
Right? And then you have that singles feud. But I think the tag team titles come off first. One of them helps the other one lose it, if that makes any sense.
No,
and
it does.
You do leave that one title to fight for, and hopefully you get an NXT TakeOver Brooklyn type match.
True, or you just get really weird with it, and at SummerSlam you have them face each other, for a title unification, and one of them loses that title, but they still are tag team champions.
Yeah.
So you still have that dynamic going on while maybe, just say hypothetically, Sasha wins the SmackDown Championship too. But they're still tag team champions. There's still that dissension going on. So there's a lot of different ways you can go. And I think if you're going to give all the gold to two people right now, why not Bayley and Sasha?
Find two better ones to do that.
Right now, no one.
Right.
You can't do it with the Iconics because they're not single stars.
No.
You could do it with Bliss and Cross, but I don't think Cross
is
ready.
Big enough.
Yeah, they're just not.
Cross is absolutely getting better. They don't have that star power.
Correct. So that's really all I had on the WWE. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to maybe touch on.
No, we're in that funky middle ground. We're waiting for storylines to develop and see where we head off. We've got SmackDown tomorrow / today. If you're listening to it on Friday, we'll see where it goes from there. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. 3 weeks till SummerSlam, which means we are 3 weeks away from NXT TakeOver 30. Yes. Can't believe there's been 30 takeovers.
Will Adam Cole face Pat McAfee at NXT TakeOver?
No, too soon.
Okay.
I think it'd be too soon. I think we're going to just keep building that or whatever. I don't know who Adam Cole's going to face. You'll see on NXT. It's really not much of a spoiler, but Undisputed Era attacked Imperium to set up a match for next week. I don't know if they're going to just take it right off of Imperium. Yeah. Now that maybe their goal was just to, stop the Riddle and Dunn thing because Dunn was stuck overseas and Riddle was going to the main roster.
Yeah.
So they just needed to throw him on somebody. And then maybe they can give it to Undisputed Era because you can probably have better storylines with the Undisputed Era than Imperium right now.
I agree, yeah.
And Breezango's got to be waiting in the wings, so
yeah,
maybe they are next after Undisputed. I don't know.
Whatever happened to Mustache Mountain?
I think they're just a UK thing now, NXT UK, which we know is dead at the moment.
Yeah.
Because of COVID. So, but yeah, Mustache Mountain was great.
I actually liked it. Yeah, they were solid. Little doughy boys. They're not the Greek
well,
statues.
Trent Seven was doughy.
Yeah, right.
Tyler Bate was kind of jacked. But
I wish for a Mustache Mountain return.
Mustache Mountain and Undisputed Era have had some great matches too. So, if you ever browsing the network, there's something you can watch. But we're going to move over to AEW here. I know some of you have been waiting for this specific topic alone. Ian, that's probably you.
All Elite Wiffle. I couldn't be more happy.
But believe it or not, the last few weeks, we haven't talked about AEW because we haven't had a podcast in 2 weeks and we haven't had any YouTube predictions. So over the last 3 weeks that I haven't had the chance to talk about it, I think AEW has been at its strongest during this whole pandemic.
Yeah, I think so. If you ask Chris Jericho, he'll be the first to tell you that the demos reflect that statement.
The demo god.
He is the demo god and the Le Champion. I think they're thriving. They're in a good spot. Recent additions. Impact made a ton of surprises and got a lot of people.
Heath, the Good Brothers.
EC3.
EC3, yeah.
Motor City Machine Guns came back.
Okay.
We're out. And then now we're into that next wave of those 90-day non-competes coming. And Matt Cardona.
Yeah, Matt Cardona made his debut on AEW this week, which I was very excited to see because I was a big fan of Zack Ryder, especially in the early 2010s when he had that push for the IC title and US title.
It might have been the pants, but he looked jacked, dude.
He looked zacked, as he would say. Yeah, no, he definitely was putting in the work for sure. So it's very cool to see him in there, especially because he came out to save Cody.
Yep.
And we know in real life, Cody and Matt are really close friends, if not best friends. So he saved them for the Dark Order there. So Matt Cardona is now a part of AEW. And a man made his return to AEW this week, too. Matt Hardy, who I honestly forgot was working with AEW.
Yeah, he popped up. That worked.
Which is weird how he already has just been lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird spot. He's not a megastar like Jericho or Moxley.
Do you think he needs Jeff to stay relevant right now?
It would help, no doubt.
Also, Sammy Guevara's back. We haven't had a chance to talk about that. About a month of a suspension. We know he had the apology and everything, but do you think this was too soon?
No.
You don't?
Nope. I don't have a reason for it. I didn't see him last night on the show and be like, oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow. They didn't make him.
2 weeks ago was surprising though when he showed up at Mass and that who was it, Serpentina or whatever his name was. That's how he was revealed in his return. I don't know if you remember it in the main event. He was, that luchador, and he took off the mask.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot his name, but he tweeted back at Ian.
Serpentico.
He tweeted at Ian, so that was cool. But, yeah, so Sammy made his return 2 weeks ago. Now he's back. You're okay with it?
Yeah.
I mean,
if he's learned from the situation and it ain't going to happen again, we're good.
I mean, everybody fucks up. Let's be honest.
Yes.
If anybody had access to my Xbox Live chats from like 2010s, I'd be canceled.
You would be difficult to employ.
I would be canceled.
I'm guessing from your statement.
Correct, yeah. I think a lot of people would. I'm not going to say you would specifically, but I know a lot of people would. So, yeah, Sammy Guevara's back. Matt Hardy's back. Matt Cardona makes his debut in AEW. And Warhorse, not Warhorse.
Yes.
Don't know what Warhorse is.
Warhorse. AEW.
He finally got his match with Cody. We saw a lot of people wanting that on social media. I don't know anything about Warhorse.
I saw him wrestle one time at that Black Label show. That Black Label show still comes back as one of the best independent show I've ever seen.
I never thought we would be referencing that show as much as we have on this show,
know.
But a lot of people have been showing up on national television.
Yes, hats off to that Black Label Pro show. Warhorse does have quite the following on Twitter and things like that, and hats off to AEW for having that built in. We're like, we could take anybody, and if you show up once, it doesn't mean you work for AEW.
I kind of like that Eddie Kingston guy from last week.
Yeah,
I thought his promo was like really good. You can tell it was like straight from the heart. He's a veteran in the independents, and he just looked like a badass, and I like that no DQ match that he had with Cody too. But Warhorse specifically, that's really hard for me to say.
What the or to get through?
Yeah.
You're turning on an H.
I don't
so
like
it's hard.
that.
Yeah, Warhorse.
Can we change your name?
Warhorse.
Warhorse.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that. I just don't like it. Fuck. But I thought we needed to see a little more from him on Dynamite, and I get it. It's Cody. You can't really have his opponents that are coming from the independents have that great of a showing because you want to make Cody look strong. But I don't know. I thought I was expecting more, maybe, especially with all the social media hype. What did you think about this match itself?
I actually thought it was just enough. Had some roll ups and some counters. Got some offense in. I think he conveyed his personality in the short time window that he could with the headbanging and the metal and him ruling ass. Justin Roberts making sure that Warhorse rules ass. That's his.
What was he billed as? Like
4,000 pounds of like
heavy metal
or something like that. Yeah, which I thought that was funny too.
We will see him next Friday at the Warrior Wrestling event, so we will in person get to see him a little more. But I wasn't that impressed.
Yeah, yes, same thing. I thought it was. I enjoyed it more than you did. It sounds like, but
yeah. It's just not like one of those guys where I'm going to give him a contract like Starks. He had a great match. He earned that contract. I thought I would have given Eddie Kingston a contract.
Yeah,
I thought that guy could have been a nice heel for AEW in the mid card, but we'll find out more about Warhorse.
We'll ask him when we see him in the middle of his match.
I don't even know how I'm going to confront him because I'm just going to be tongue tied.
Hey,
War guy.
Hey, Mr. W.
Guy.
Mr. W. There you go.
Yeah. Take that, War
Hey,
guy.
Mr. Horse.
Mr. Horse. Yeah, I'm sure that'll get his attention. He's only got about 20,000 followers on social media, so maybe we can get him on the show.
I'll
let you steer that interview because I'll butcher his name.
Hello, Mr. Horse. Will you rule my ass?
Can I call you Horse? Yeah, that'd be interesting for sure. But hey, let's talk about the Dark Order.
Okay.
At the beginning of OTM, I wasn't in. I didn't want to join the Dark Order. I wasn't really getting it. But, now that we have Brody Lee, we have Anna Jay, a female, a part of the Dark Order.
Yeah.
And Colt Cabana, the dynamic's still going.
Yes.
I'm all in. I'm ready.
All in.
I am joining the Dark Order right now.
That's messed up. Wow.
I'm going to go to their website.
Nope.
What is it?
Don't do it.
DarkOrder.com. I'm typing it in
do
as
it
we
from
speak.
Your own house.
Here we go. Yep. Oh, here we are. Yep.
Stop it.
Yep. And join us.
No,
yep.
I don't like that.
It is official, ladies and gentlemen. Tuck is watching me join the Dark Order as we speak. Thoughts?
Do it on somebody else's Wi-Fi, man. I don't want them showing up to my house.
You're not in? You're not joining?
Not yet.
Why not?
Because Okay, here's the thing.
Here we go.
I like that we're getting more personalities from people. It's not just a dude and some minions that you don't really like. I'm in until they do some actual damage to a part of the roster that I think would give them a fight.
Well, that's what I kind of want to talk about. I think their match with Hangman and Omega was the best wrestling match we got to see between those two.
Yeah,
specifically in AEW, which it was really nice to see. And I also like how they're kind of going after Cody now, too. Mm-hmm. I think Brody Lee might be the next in line for that TNT championship. So,
well, and that would be a cool angle because the TV title is run by a dude that's basically running a cult.
Yeah. And they reference that all the time.
Dark Order Liarda over here.
I'm all in.
Eesh.
And maybe it was Anna Jay coming over.
Can you do it after Wiffle Ball?
What?
I don't want to mess it up with the team like Mojo, the chemistry.
It could be good for us. You never know. I'm already in. I just joined.
Okay.
So it is official. Mr. Wednesday Night has joined the Dark Order. The day has come.
The chemistry of our team is
on the 1 year anniversary, nonetheless.
Our ace of our wiffle ball team is now part of the Dark Order.
When's Colt Cabana actually going to join? Because he kind of goes, I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, maybe now that you've joined, he'll be in.
Yeah. I was the next dynamic that they needed.
I don't like that.
Like, I need this wiffle ball playing podcaster guy to...
Next time I show up at your house to do a podcast, it's going to be dark. There's going to be candles.
Join the Dark Order.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to play that theme right when you walk in.
Some dude's going to come out of your pantry and try to tackle me and put a bag over my head. I'm out.
I'm going to get Timmy Angel in the Dark Order next. I'm just going to start recruiting. You've been warned. I'm warning the whole world right now. But the last thing I have from this week's AEW specifically is might be a hot take. Let's see if you agree with this. MJF just cut the best promo in AEW history this week.
Ooh.
In the history of this company, MJF just cut the best promo I've ever seen. Me personally, I was completely sold on what he was delivering this week on Dynamite. I don't know about you. What did you think?
Well, my initial reaction was to say, like, no, that's not true. I'm having trouble finding a better one, though.
Cody cut a very good promo when he was feuding with MJF.
Yeah.
That I remember specifically.
Yeah. Jericho's are always entertaining.
Jericho's are good, yeah. Other than that,
all right.
MJF might be the other candidate. He's had other good promos.
He's awesome. Yeah. He's very good at what he does. He might be the best promo guy. Yeah.
In wrestling or in AEW?
Name a better one in wrestling.
Randy Orton right now.
Right now.
Yeah, that's true, but not always.
That's true.
I mean, Edge cut some good promos when he came back.
He is white hot, though. MJF is, he's the salt of the earth.
Yeah, and everything that he said in this promo, he referenced Moxley and the company as a whole was completely true. He was just talking about how he's always been overlooked. He's got this undefeated record, and he's still going strong, and he's not on there every week. But when he's on there, he even referenced the demographics that the ratings are going up when MJF's on the television screen.
Is that provable?
I don't know. Maybe he will. But he's got a campaign and everything going on social media now. MJF 2020.
Oh.
Are you going to vote for MJF? Is he going to be your write-in in the election?
He's just a dickhead, though. That's the problem.
That's why I love him, because I'm kind of a dick myself.
I know, but, he's not for the people. He's for himself.
You could tell that this promo, came straight from the hip.
Here's the question. What professional wrestler, AEW, WWE, NXT, would you like to be our president?
Current?
Yeah.
He has to be current? I was going to say The Rock. Is it really?
No, that's actually,
John Cena.
No, that's
yes.
He's not current.
Nope. MJF.
Really?
Yeah, MJF 2020.
Of all of them?
He's kind of like Trump in a way, if you think about it.
Let me see. Who would I... Keith Lee.
Drew Gulak.
Tuchu. Ah.
He had the no-fly zone and all that with the PowerPoints.
Kenny Omega. Great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy, but he'd be kind of a wild child out there.
Do you think?
Yeah. V-triggering everybody.
Yeah. Hello, Kim Jong-un.
Oh, you pissed me off. Boom. Yeah. Isn't Kim Jong-un dead?
He's a one-wing angel.
Did he ever officially die? I know
he's back.
He's back?
Yeah.
Those bastards. But yeah, the promo itself, the realism was there. The intensity was there. And I don't think that guy's ever messed up a promo. Like, he never, stutters over his words or has a lackadaisical moment.
I'm interested to see how he prepares. Like, if it's just that easy, Or is he very calculated and tactful in how he goes about his work? That would be something that does interest me.
You know what's crazy is how young he is, too. Like, you would think this guy would have been at least 30, cutting promos like this. He's 24 years old.
Wow.
He was born in 1996. I was born in 1993. You were born in 89.
Ew.
The fact that we are watching a man that is that much younger than us cut one of the best promos that I have seen probably in the past couple years, I'm all in on MJF now.
Me too. I'll tell you what, I would not bet against you if it came to wine and spirits, though. You know?
Yeah.
He can't do that.
Yeah, he might.
Nah.
You don't know.
Too big of a dick.
But it looks like MJF wants Jon Moxley. He might get him at All Out. I think MJF wins the title at All Out.
Nope.
Yep, I
Nope.
do.
Don't like that.
Yep.
Nope,
I think
that's
it's
not it,
happening.
folks.
I think it's happening, Tuck,
Nope.
and I think it's time to start realizing that we are moving on in a different direction, and MJF is the future.
Somebody buy an AEW title. We're putting it on the line.
You know, there's the replica AEW titles, like the toy ones are out in Walmart now. I might have to grab one just for our podcast sake.
Yeah.
Just to have.
Yeah.
And then I can display it next to my NXT championship. And then when I win at SummerSlam, I can take that title.
Funny.
I'm going to run out of space with all these belts.
Funny. I beat you
Where?
at the horror show.
Okay, cool. Who's got the belt now? Not
Me.
you. Well, physically. Physically, yes.
That's true.
You're kind of like MVP right now, holding somebody else's belt.
Yeah. Well, Bogus was very tasteful. He said I could keep it. He wanted a picture with it. He kind of like, I don't want to screw up your title.
Yeah, he didn't want to be responsible, he said.
Values the title and things like that. So
I'm going to do a lot of things to that title if I get it. So you've been warned. There's going to be pictures everywhere.
Don't let me get the NXT one. Shoot your first shot.
As long as you have a Clorox wipe.
I am petty. So let's get after
Tom Petty over here.
They call me Jim Petty.
It's going to be very interesting to see. But, hey, we won't find out for about 3 weeks. But all those titles will be on the line in the matter of a couple weeks, which is pretty wild. Mikey Wilson probably won't win any of them.
No, Mikey should buy the next title.
Mikey, what are we doing, man? Are you trying to, just lose? Is it an act? Is this your gimmick?
He's our next guest on the podcast.
Is he?
So, yeah, so on the next prediction show, one of them, something, so he can explain himself.
I don't even think he's keeping up with the wrestling. He's never tweeting about it. I haven't heard anything.
He's just a busy guy.
Is he?
July,
he drinking
pops
a lot?
off. No, he pops off in July. His uncle runs a firework company, and he helps.
So he's probably behind on everything.
They shoot fireworks like bigger than bowling balls. Those things are huge.
I'm out. I'm not a big firework guy.
I kind of am. Get a lady, lady next to you, a couple margaritas, sundress.
Okay, you're really going into detail here. Is this describing a night that you found?
I am happily married. Hello, mister.
How you doing? She's upstairs right now, isn't she?
Yeah.
She can hear you. Every single thing you're saying right now.
The room might be bugged.
There would be no way of knowing.
I act that way. So
You know what's pretty astounding? I know we're kind of done talking about our wrestling, but I believe Aaron Oros was watching Raw live this week. He might be slowly coming back.
Ooh,
a little bit of a return
for the glue guy.
It's been a while since we've heard from him. He's been on a lot of the shows, but he was telling me, he goes, Randy's winning that belt at SummerSlam. He is adamant that Randy is going to take that belt from Drew McIntyre. So that's an early prediction right there.
There you go, yeah. It's going to be tough. I'm excited to see what the next 3 weeks look like.
Yeah, the build to SummerSlam hopefully will be good. I know Dynamite has been good lately. NXT was okay this week, but I like the direction they are heading as well. You'll be able to watch that on your own time. But there was a few things I did like from that episode. But other than that, I don't have anything else from the wrestling world that I'd like to talk about. What about you, Tucky? What do you say?
I'm good. I think we touched on many things. So
kind of a little recap there on the road to SummerSlam.
Here we are,
and All Out, I guess we could say too.
We are hopping on the bus next week. We will record probably before the Warrior Wrestling show. So
is that what you want to do on Friday?
Know.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, Thursday or Friday.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
saying
like we're gonna go.
I was gonna say we would do the Warrior Wrestling recap as well, but maybe reach out to any of the Warrior Wrestling organizers to see if they want to talk about the show.
I think one of them just followed me on Twitter.
Hell yes.
So yeah, because I quote tweeted one of the things about this is how you book an event. Because all seriousness, if you live in the Northwest, Northeast Illinois area, come out to this event if you feel comfortable enough, because the guidelines and everything, the precautions that they're taking, you can bring your own food.
Yeah, they're busting their butt to try to make it as safe as possible. Really, you got to wear a mask on your way to the bathroom. There are no concessions. Bring your own food, no booze.
Can't drink. Don't
bring
like
your
that.
own chairs.
Don't like that.
I know. I hear you. I'm with you.
I like alcohol.
You're around it daily.
100% of the time, yeah.
And to be your size and not 2.5, 3 times bigger is actually, people sleep on that.
Honestly, I've drank less since joining the alcohol business. Oh. It might be just, being around it all the time.
Yeah.
Because when I worked for Albany's Candy Factory, I rarely ate candy. So it might just be that kind of thing. If you're around it all the time, it kind of gets old.
Yeah, that's why I haven't got married again. Like, once I got married the first time.
That's why.
Yeah. So
and that's why I've managed to stay single this whole time. That's all I got.
All right, make sure you visit otsportsnetwork.com and on Twitter @_OTSN. Follow me at JimTuck89.
I thought you were going to say follow T-Walk for a second.
Do not follow T-Walk. Fire T-Walk.
Fire T-Walk.
You can follow Kyle at Too Sweet Kyle.
Too Sweet.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling
Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter at PodOnTheMark.